Hello everyone, welcome back to Food is Numbers. Burgers, they're just the best, right? I could go for a burger, couldn't you? But Bob, I hear you saying, I'm on a cut. I can't afford to eat a burger right now. That's too many calories. Well, guess what, Mayor of Wrong Town? I'm here to tank your re-election campaign because we're gonna make some low-calorie burgers that are delicious and everyone can get behind. You may have noticed there's a Band-Aid on the side of my head. We're gonna start with the sauce. That's the real trick. You gotta have a nice low-calorie sauce that still has a lot of flavor that's gonna make your burger really pop. So for your sauce, you're gonna need Greek yogurt. Now this is technically from Iceland, but it does the same thing. Ketchup, mustard, salt, a pickle, garlic powder, and onion powder. Okay, let's mix it up. Start with 60 grams of Greek yogurt, low fat, high protein for the best numbers. Add 15 grams of ketchup, yeah, that's close enough. About the same amount of mustard, although mustard is 0 calories, so you don't need to weigh it. Add your pickle, and always keep a clean scale. Add some salt, a few shakes of garlic powder, and a few shakes of onion powder. Oh God! Well, mix it up. Yeah, let's give that a go. You know, I thought that was gonna be too much onion powder, but it's not. This is lovely. Put that aside. So for the burger, it's low calorie. So obviously we're not going to use beef. We're gonna use our good low calorie friend, ground turkey, salt and pepper, and some garlic. There is no better tool than your hands to mix ground meat. So always be sure to keep your tools clean. Put your turkey in a bowl and take off this moisture pad thing. And what the hell is that? Take that off too. Add a generous dose of salt and pepper. Crush a clove of garlic in there too. Get in there and mix until thoroughly combined. Weigh your meat to ensure you have 2 equal patties. Here they ended up about 210 grams each. Prepare your grill, including some non-stick spray, and set it to around medium. Slap your burger down and, oh, well, okay. We can fix this. Just like mash it around until it looks like a burger again. Yeah, that's probably fine. Let those cook for about 4 to 5 minutes and do not touch them until then. When time's up, give them a flip and admire your beautiful grill marks. Come back in another 4 to 5 minutes and do not open the lid until then. You're looking for an internal temperature of 165 Fahrenheit and a thermometer that looks awful on camera. For the cheese on your burger, you're gonna want good old-fashioned American cheese. Now, I can practically hear you screaming at your computer, but Bob, that can't possibly be healthy. It is 70 calories per slice. You will not find the same caloric value on any other cheese. It's almost always at least double. So this is, surprisingly, this is your lowest calorie option. Throw the cheese on your burgers while they're still on the grill. My cheese did not want to come out of the package, so things got a little ugly. Oh, yeah, great, good enough. Close the lid and let that melt for about 30 seconds, then transfer to a plate. Okay, burgers are looking good. Cheese didn't quite melt as much as I wanted, but I am impatient. We're gonna put these here. Cover them so they can rest for a little bit and maybe that cheese will melt a little more. Actually, don't forget to weigh them. Let's do that. But 160 and 170 grams, pretty good. We'll calculate our nutritional information based on those measurements. While those rest, we're gonna prepare the buns. So I'm gonna start with the red onion. I'm gonna cut that in half. Bloop, bloop. Peel the 1/2. I like to get rid of the entire outside layer because sometimes it's kind of jank. As you can see, I already did the pickles from when I was doing the sauce. This is about half of the remaining pickle from the sauce. Now we're gonna take our onion, cut a ring out of it, save the rest of that for later. And I like to dice my onions. Some people prefer to keep them in rings. It looks kind of nicer, I guess, but this way you can avoid biting a chunk of onion and having it all come flying off the burger. You can add a piece of lettuce onto your burger if you want. I didn't want to buy an entire head of lettuce just so I could do the burgers, so I didn't do that. You can also add tomato to your burger if you like your burgers wet. I do not like my burgers wet, and so I will not do that. Neither of those will appreciably change the nutritional value. So if you do either of those things, you can still use the same nutritional information we'll give you. Just treat it as the same. Now we're gonna cut up our buns. Our sauce from before is nice and integrated. All the flavors have had a chance to mingle. Now the entirety of this sauce recipe is about 80 calories. So if you use it all, you're doing all right. I'll say that's about, be generous and say 2 tablespoons each. Add your onions and pickles to the sauce. Obviously you can add more of each. This is just all I had cut up, so that'll work for me. Next, our burgers. Is that the bottom? It doesn't matter. And if you prefer some hot sauce, I do. All right, let's give that a go. Yep, that's delicious. Meat is quite lean, it's still juicy. The cheese really helps with the texture. And that burger sauce, oh man, well, that's working for me. So there you have it. Nice, easy, tasty, low-calorie burgers. The calories are gonna show up somewhere around here. The information here will be for 1 burger. I'm gonna eat both of these because I'm hungry. Stay tuned in just a few seconds time for me, again, showing you how to make, let's call it a normal burger. No, that's no good. If it's not bulking, what is it? I guess it is bulking. That are a bit higher calorie, just as delicious, and just as easy. What's a good transition? Star wipe? Yeah, I think we're gonna do a star wipe. Psych, it's not always about star wipes. It's usually about star wipes, but it's not always about star wipes. Okay, so for part 2, we're gonna be making the higher calorie burger. There's a few minor changes. You're gonna notice 3. There's the meat is gonna be different, the cooking technique is gonna be different, and the sauce is gonna be different. Now, that burger sauce that we did before, it's delicious. You can absolutely put it on this one. But when calories are no longer an obstacle to be overcome and are instead a treasured friend to be embraced, I find that all bets are off with the sauce. You can sauce it up however you want. So to start, we're gonna get our meat, which today, lean ground beef. I prefer the lean over the extra lean for this particular purpose because it is slightly higher calorie. Salt and pepper, and some garlic once again. The mixing process is exactly the same as before, same salt, pepper, garlic. Use your hands, don't forget to wash them. I think that's it. With the ground beef, it's important that it's as cold as possible when you mix it, so make sure this stays in the fridge until you're ready. If it warms up, some of the fat that's in there can start to liquefy and might leak out, and we don't want that. We want to keep the fat in the meat for as long as possible. Don't forget to preheat your stove. You'll notice we're not doing this on the grill. We're doing it in a frying pan for a very important reason, which you'll see in a minute. Place your ground beef in a bowl. Oh, geez, let's try that again without the suck. There we go. Generously add your salt and pepper and a clove of garlic, just as before. Get right in there and mix until integrated. Oh, shit. Okay, we'll edit that out. Once again, weigh your meat and split into 2 equal patties. Now, when forming this mixture into patties, you want to compress it, but don't squish it. We're not trying to smush it flat. We're just trying to make sure there's no air or gaps inside it. And when you're ready, squish it into a patty. If it cracks a bit on the outside, that's no big deal. Make it as round as possible. You also want to make sure you compress just slightly more in the inside than the outside. You want the inside to be a little bit thinner, because when it cooks, it's going to compress. And if it's the same level the whole way through, the inside is just going to puff up and you're going to get a big stupid ball that's really hard to put toppings on. This way it should flatten nicely. Again, we don't want to overwork it here. Don't want to warm it up too much. Ooh, these are hefty patties. 226-ish grams pre-cook weight. Make sure to preheat your frying pan. I'm gonna set my stove to about 7. Your mileage may vary. Waiting for the pan to heat up. Add about a tablespoon of butter to your pan and let that melt in fast forward if possible. This is gonna both lubricate the pan and provide a baste for our burgers. Spread that around a bit to ensure relatively even pan coverage. Before your patties go in the pan, I like to hit them with a generous dose of Montreal steak spice. You don't need to do this. I just think it's delicious. And throw some on the other side once these are in the pan. When your pan is nice and hot, throw your patties in there and remember to season the unseasoned side. As I said, I use Montreal steak spice, but you can use whatever seasoning blend you prefer. Cook 4 to 5 minutes, and don't go squishing them flat or pushing them around before they're ready. Just let them cook. When time is up, flip them and give them the tiniest little press with the spatula just to ensure good contact with the pan. Add another tablespoon of butter and let that melt. Once that's liquid, tilt the pan and scoop the butter over your patties. Repeat this process several times until your 4 to 5 minutes is up. All right, you'll want to plate those up and cover them so they can rest. Juicy. Now we're going to prepare our buns. Actually, first I'm going to clean the floor. These are the same buns as last time, but don't forget, if you want a few extra calories, you can get something like a brioche bun. As mentioned before, you can get up to 100 or maybe even more calories per bun. So give that a try if you want them. I'm going to use these because I have them and I didn't want to buy any more. Now, when it comes to saucing these, as mentioned before, basically all bets are off. You can put anything on here as long as you measure it, obviously, but we're gonna go with my favorite setup. Ta-da! By the way, not affiliated with any of these. This is currently my favorite hot sauce. You can use whatever hot sauce you want, but my God, this stuff is good. Weigh all your sauces out. I used about 15 grams of everything for the sake of simplicity. Use the same onion from last time, same technique, dice it up, put it in the sauce. We'll weigh the patty as well. Oh, look, it found some cheese in there. And there we have it. If calories are not an obstacle, you have some delicious, above all, easy burgers that'll really hit the spot. So let's go in and give it a go. Oh, it's saucy. Oh man, that's good. Oh, you think the patty would get lost in all the sauce? It doesn't. Whew. When I made the turkey burgers, I actually ate both of them, and that was a lot, but luckily today, I don't have to eat both of these. I don't know if I could. Well, they are good though. So there you have it. Even if you're cutting, you don't have to be afraid of burgers. You can just make them work for you. If you are not cutting, you can absolutely enjoy these burgers as well. Would recommend, especially the butter in the pan. Oh, it makes such a difference. And I think that's it for today. So, how do I sign off? Should I make a sign off? I'm workshopping a slogan. It's not ready for prime time. Forgot to mention, caloric information for my specific burger is going to appear right over here. Obviously, yours may be different depending on how much sauce you use, depending on what kind. But if you want to follow my lead, this one will do you just fine. As mentioned before, if you had different vegetables like lettuce or tomato or whatever, it will basically not change those numbers. So you can add those freely and don't even worry about it. And I think we'll call this one done. And I'm going to eat my lunch. See you next time.